My
You made me laugh.
My name is Gina and welcome to Brookvale Media Club.
Perfect.
Hi, it's Elena. Hi, it's Grandma.
The practice run. You're there, he's here. I'm gonna walk in, say, can we get some teacher volunteers? You. You're gonna walk in, you're gonna say, lay down right here, please.
Lay down right here, please.
They're gonna lay down. That's it.
Welcome to Brookvale Media.
Hello, my name is Bhagavati and today I am going to be talking about one of the inventions that changed the world. This invention is called a telephone. Telephones or phones are used in a very convenient way to communicate with someone. Just imagine a life without telephones, without talking to friends or family who live in long distances, especially when you are living in the 1800s. Thankfully, telephones were invented in 1876 by Alexander Graham Bell. Scottish-born, Bell was a teacher for the deaf at Boston University. While a teacher for the hearing impaired, Bell was asked by a group of investors to help perfect the harmonic telegraph. The device was one of the most exciting innovations of the day, allowing for multiple messages to be sent over wire simultaneously. While researching ways to teach the deaf, he experimented with transmitting sound via electricity. So Bell developed a voice transmitting device, which he later called the telephone. After some negotiation, the investors allowed for Bell to work on both technologies with more focus on the popular harmonic telegraph. However, in the end, the telephone got worn out. As Bell would later explain, if I could make a current of electricity vary in intensity precisely as the air varies in density during the production of sound, I should be able to transmit speech telegraphically. On March 7, 1876, Bell was awarded a patent on the device, and 3 days later, he made his first successful telephone called to his assistant, electrician Thomas Watson, who would hear Bell's famous words transmitted through the wire, which were, "Mr. Watson, come here, I want you." Within 5 years, private telephone exchanges were in place in most U.S. cities. It was an invention that caught on very quickly. Thank you for listening.
Anti-bullying tips. Before we start, let's talk about the different types of bullying: cyberbullying, physical abuse, and mental abuse. Cyberbullying is when someone bullies you online. For example, if I put in a text to my friends, "Miriam is so ugly, she looks like a pig." Physical abuse is when someone is hurting you physically on a regular basis, like if I went up to Miriam and punched her in the nose because she looks ugly to me. Lastly, we have mental abuse. Mental abuse is when someone uses words to hurt you. This can cause more harm than you may think. Even a stare can make someone feel like they are worthless. Words hurt even more than physical touch sometimes. These tips will help you remember what to do when you're dealing with any of these kinds of bullying. Remember, all of these are examples in this production. They are just examples and not meant to hurt anyone.
Anti-bullying tip number 1. Always tell someone you trust. When you're getting bullied, you may be extremely scared to tell someone because you would be labeled a snitch. Do not be scared. If you don't tell somebody, then you're going to feel even sadder than ever, and that will make you think of things that can hurt you internally and externally that you would never think of otherwise.
Number 2. If a person tells you that they're getting bullied, always listen. If you just listen to the person, it could benefit them so much. Listen to what they're facing. Spend time with them so they're not always lonely. Sometimes all they need is someone to listen.
Number 3. If you're ever getting bullied, do not use violence. You may be mad at the person bullying you and want to use violence, but violence is never the answer. It never turns out good, and you do not know why the person is mistreating you. They might have been bullied themselves.
Number 4. Don't bully the bully. The bully may be bullying you because they're not getting enough love at home. If you bully them too, then you'll also start the cycle of bullying others. Like Harold Holbert said, children need love, especially when they don't deserve it.
Number 5. This may not be an anti-bullying tip, but it is just as important to learn the difference between rude, mean, and bully. Being mean is being unfair and treating someone unfairly. An example of that is if someone told you you're stupid. Being rude means you're intentionally being impolite, but bullying is intentionally making someone's life miserable every day.
Never ever bully. You can destroy someone's life even if you don't realize you are.
history of Earth Day starts during a time when the U.S. was making political and economic advancements. Factories, chemical plants, oil industries were growing, but so was the production of air pollution and environmental waste.
Unlike today, the health of the planet was not a high priority for most people, primarily because they were unaware of the dangerous side effects of common everyday practices, such as smoking, using plastic bags, and driving.
The idea for a national day to focus on the environment came to Earth Day founder Gaylord Nelson after witnessing the damage of the 1969 massive oil spill in Santa Barbara, California.
He realized that if he could infuse that energy with an emerging public consciousness about air and water pollution, it would force environmental protection onto the national political agenda. April 22nd, falling between spring break and final exams, was selected as the date.
The reason why we celebrate is that it serves as a reminder of how fragile our planet is and how important it is to protect it. If it weren't for Senator Nelson taking a stand in the 1970s, we may be still using lead in our gasoline for automobiles and expanding industrial production.
On April 22, 1970, 20 million Americans took to the streets, parks, and auditoriums to demonstrate for a healthy, sustainable environment in massive coast-to-coast rallies. Thousands of colleges and universities organized protests against the deterioration of the environment. Groups that had been fighting against oil spills, polluting factories and power plants, suddenly realized they shared common values.
As 1990 approached, a group of environmental leaders asked Dennis Hayes to organize another big campaign. This time, Earth Day went global, mobilizing 200 million people in 141 countries and lifting environmental issues onto the world stage. Earth Day in 1990 gave a huge boost to recycling efforts worldwide and helped pave the way for the 1992 United States Earth Summit in Rio de Janeiro.
It also prompted President Bill Clinton to award Senator Nelson the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 1995, the highest honor given to civilians in the United States, for his role as Earth Day founder.
We hope that you now understand what Earth Day really is.
And that it is not just a day about picking up trash around the world, but it's a national holiday with an amazing history behind it.
Thanks for tuning in.
There are many different holidays in many different cultures, but today we're going to be only talking about one. The holiday that we're going to be talking about is Easter. Easter falls on a Sunday between April 4th and May 8th each year. This year it is on April 21st, 2019. Easter Sunday and related celebrations such as Ash Wednesday and Palm Sunday are considered movable feasts. Although in Western Christianity, which follows the Gregorian calendar, Easter always falls on a Sunday between March 22nd and April 25th.
Easter is a Christian holiday that celebrates the belief in the resurrection of Jesus Christ, according to the New Testament Bible. This is why the holiday is such a significant date to the Christian calendar.
In Western Christianity, including Roman Catholicism and Protestant denominations, the period before Easter holds special significance. This period of fasting and penitence is called Lent. It begins on Ash Wednesday and lasts for 40 days, not including Sundays. The Sunday immediately prior to Easter is called Palm Sunday, and it commemorates Jesus' arrival in Jerusalem, when followers laid palm leaves across the road to greet him. Examples of non-religious Easter traditions include Easter eggs and related games such as egg rolling and egg decorating. It's believed that eggs represented fertility and birth in certain pagan traditions that predate Christianity. Egg decorating may have become part of the Easter celebration in a nod to the religious significance of Easter, which is also known as Jesus' resurrection or rebirth.
In some households, a character known as the Easter Bunny delivers candy and chocolate eggs to children on Easter morning. These candies often arrive in an Easter basket. We hope you enjoy this Easter. Thanks for watching.
More on Babel News next time.